Good evening. Welcome to Gum Springs Elementary. Thank you to Ms. Hanley and her staff for hosting this event. We thank you for everything that they've done, the hospitality that they've shown to the board. Call to order. At this point, as far as with the, I'm assuming she has someone to do the pledge for us tonight. Is that this group here? Well, I'll let you proceed. Everyone stand, please.
We have our Panther helpers who will lead us in the pledge. If you would stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Panther helpers. As far as we have before us the agenda tonight, to have approval for the agenda as is written.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Dr. Howard, turn it over to you.
Very good, thank you. On behalf of all of us, we apologize for a little bit of a late start. Glad you stayed with us, and we're excited to hear of some highlights here in just a couple of minutes. I want to say a very special thank you to our schools that are celebrating our veterans. As you know, tomorrow's the day that we actually remember them. Saturday is the official Veterans Day, but again, we visited one today, and I know we have several going on tomorrow, and appreciate the efforts that our schools have put into recognizing that very, very important day in our calendar. And just to remind you, Thanksgiving break is coming up, but it'll be here before we know it. But before that, I want to send a special thank you once again to our community leaders. April Sorrow, who is the chair of the steering committee for the College and Career Academy, is leading great work, and they'll be going next Thursday to the technical colleges and schools of Georgia to present to that committee for final decision making for the college and career grant. So again, thank you to the many business investors that have helped us pull this, and we hope that all goes well there and have confidence that it will. So I would like to thank Ms. Hanley again for hosting us. Great job with the Panther helpers, and we look forward to hearing some highlights from Gum Springs Elementary School. So Ms. Hanley, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you all, and welcome to Gum Springs Elementary School, where we're celebrating 10 years of excellence. You see all the birthday stuff out there. That's what that's about. It's our 10th birthday at Gum Springs, and we're celebrating that. I'd also like to thank Dr. Howard and the board for this opportunity to share some remarkable experiences at Gum Springs Elementary, and also take this opportunity to thank the board for our paint. You see our new paint this year. We're excited to have a lot of clean walls. Thank you all for that. Our teachers work hard to provide remarkable experiences every day, so it was really difficult to choose only two to share. As I reflected, I chose teachers who have made an impact on the whole school with their work. Ms. Stephanie Purvis and Ms. Tammy Gowan are our challenge teachers at Gum Springs, but they've made a positive impact on all students at Gum Springs Elementary School through their grant writing, through the school museum, and enrichment clusters. And Tammy and Stephanie will share at this time a little bit about what they do.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Purvis.
I'm Tammy Gowan.
We're just going to share a little bit about what we do through Challenge, but it also benefits the other grade levels in our school. Can you hear us okay? There it goes. Okay. We first started this a few years ago where our challenge students, we start with a theme and they choose a topic of interest. We've had several different museums, and we're just going to kind of go through some pictures and talk. Our first one was the Egyptian exhibit, where we were able to visit the Michael C. Carlos Museum in Emory as a field trip for this. It was quite interesting. And so they made exhibits, a sarcophagus, and of course they saw one. A real live mummy is what they told us. It was quite interesting. But then what the students get to do from here is, once they have researched, created their artifacts, then they will share this with the school. So we set up a sign-up genius, and classes sign up, and they then become the docents. So we had Georgia Leaders, Medieval Times, and we also did elections. That was quite interesting. And they were actually ran the polls, and we had them research states, population, to figure out how the electoral votes were counted and that sort of thing. We had some special guests come, and what was really neat was we had the registrar's office, the voting registration office, come and bring out a sample voting booth, and they got a big kick out of actually getting up there and voting. Oh, and it was a great community thing because they brought voter registration cards so the kids could take them back home and help register more voters. And that was if you lift up the flaps, it would have the population, number of electoral votes. The states were colored by red or blue, and as the votes came in, that's kind of how we did that. And we are currently working on space exploration. Our museum is not quite put together this year yet, so we're still working on that, but it's coming. Okay.
Thanks. We started out our grant writing totally by accident. We went to find out about robotics at UGA, and it was the Robo robotics session, and they said, hey, we have a mini grant. So we tried to write for it, and we received it. We were extremely lucky with that. We also we were able to bring more robotics. That's okay. We wrote a grant for dealing with Oconee soil and water conservation. We wanted to get a greenhouse, and as we were talking to them about getting a greenhouse, they granted us the funds. But at that time, the greenhouse was going to be a lot more expensive than the funds they gave us. But fortunately, the middle school had just gotten a brand new greenhouse, and they allowed us to get theirs so that we were able to use those funds to purchase the pots, the plants, the soil, all those different things that go along. Got it?
Oh, I got it.
Okay, and all those different things. And at that time, the FFA also did a Stuff the Bus, in which our challenge students got really involved, got the whole school involved, and they were able to win the Stuff the Bus. And those funds also went to our greenhouse, our outdoor classroom, and to our planning. As you can see here, there's the greenhouse. Then the next one we got was, we got from the Georgia Association of Gifted Children. It was a mini grant for butterfly garden. And our first, second, and third graders worked on this. And as you can see right over there, Mr. Carl, who you'll hear about him a little bit later today, he is like our hero. He brought his own tiller in, and he tilled the ground, and he tilled in some extra soil into it, and he tilled it again, and he continually comes back and gives us more assistance on his own time so that the kids aren't killing themselves trying to get through that red clay that's out there. But as you can see, our third graders, I mean, they busted it to get all that out there and to get the plants planted and to put the mulch around. We're still working on it. These are our first and second graders, and if you have ever seen first and second graders work and sweat and not care about it, it was amazing to see these kids out there and thoroughly enjoying
And they
this.
didn't complain.
They didn't
Not
complain.
once.
They asked when we could go back out, okay? And it was just awesome. And here we had parents come in and give us some assistance, and they have made stepping stones for in the garden. We just haven't quite gotten there yet. Then our kindergartnens always raised butterflies, and they got to release the butterflies in the garden this year. So we were really excited about that. We're hoping to make it a monarch garden. We just have a little more work. We continue to work with the Oconee Soil and Water Conservation. Mr. Robert Amos has kind of told us he's going to collaborate with us now to be able to collect water and to continue and build on our greenhouse and butterfly garden and outdoor classroom. And we're super excited about it. This collaboration will be able to bring more funds to us, but it also already brought some of the government here. He brought people that are in the state agriculture and all to come talk to us and see what we've done and see if we can get more funding that way too.
Finally, we want to kind of mention enrichment clusters. This is our third year offering enrichment clusters. And what it is it's teacher and student interest based, but it's to provide time for students to grow in their interest and their passions.
It's one of the things that allows a child to be successful here at school. Something they're interested in, it doesn't matter what child. Our special education enjoys it just as much as anyone else. And they come out and they're very successful and they thoroughly enjoy it. We've had parents say, when are enrichment clusters again? We can't plan doctor's appointments those days and those types of things. They love it so much.
So what we're going to show you is these are just a few slides. So it starts out with student interest. and teacher interest. And the teachers create slides to advertise their enrichment cluster. Then the students get to vote and they get placed in classes. And we try to, mix it up so they don't get some of the same things every year.
They number their choices too, 1 through 10, depending on the age level. And that way we try to place them in their top 3 choices.
And so we have a good variety. We have everything from singing to edible science, origami, and it really lends itself to math standards because you can get a lot of geometry in origami.
But that's not what it's based on. It's based on the interest and the enjoyment of
But
it.
we can still say that. So we get a lot of community and parent volunteers coming in.
And if any of you have some really great talents that you want to share with young children, we'd love to hear about it. And we'll try and work you into a cluster if you'd like to be there.
It was amazing, the running club, the 5K running cluster that we had an overwhelming response for that. The kids loved just to get out and run. Cooking, dancing, we had medical professionals come in and show CPR, and we've also, of course, incorporated some outdoor gardening and planting. Board games, engineering.
We went old school.
Yeah. And then the engineering of the putt-putt golf courses. They had a blast with that. We had a lot of special guests coming through our building and offering kind of like
pet care.
Kind of like an in-school field trip for some of these items. And then robotics, of course, and we had,
building.
We had birdhouses being built, murals. And then we had some therapy dogs come in. It was just a really great opportunity for kids to explore their own interest and feel successful. This year we begin in January. And first time adding kindergarten into the mix, so it'll be quite interesting.
We're really excited about it. And now for some more, we have Miss Weldon.
Miss Weldon, our media specialist, will present. Thank you.
Thank you. And these ladies are a bit modest. They talk about all these things, but they work not only with the gifted students, but they make sure that they bring these exciting experiences to all the kids in our school through the robotics program, because they went on their day off. It was a vacation day, and the 2 of them went to UGA. They were able to bring many robotics kits to our school because there were not a lot of participants, so they got to bring home lots of goods, and then they got help in writing those grants. And they have written so many grants and helped with so many projects in our outdoor classroom and things like that. So they really didn't tell everything that they do. They are exceptional educators, and they do bring remarkable experiences to all of our students. The other person that I wanted to recognize as bringing remarkable experiences to Gum Springs is Miss Jill Weldon. Jill is our media resource specialist, and she's turned the media center upside down, sideways a little bit too. She not only has transformed our media center, but she's been proactive in making all the cool new learning experience available to all of our students. She will share what she's doing and what is to come for our media center.
Yes,
thank you. I'm not real fond of public speaking, but I do love to talk about my program. So I'm gonna show you some of the things that we're doing. We're changing our name to the Innovation and Learning Center. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that too. So as our program expands, we have made a lot of changes. It's no longer the quiet space that, maybe a decade ago where they come in and look for a book and sit quietly and read. I'm not a quiet person, so that kind of bleeds over to the kids. So it's a really different environment. And so one of my goals this year was I wanted to get as many kids in the media center as I could. How can I expand so that all of these kids have a remarkable experience? So it kind of took the buy-in of the whole school. Miss Hanley supported me 110%, pushing me, giving me ideas, and so the teachers allowed me to have their kids 45 minutes a day during their extended learning time. So they're coming in. I do 2-week rotations with about 10 to 12 students. So I'm working in small groups. So 2nd grade, we're doing stop motion. And we're since I have them for such an extended amount of time, we kind of get to explore all different types of stop motion. So we start with drawing and graphics, We do some Lego animations. We use the stick bots, and then we work with some claymation. So we kind of grow from there, and they love it. Our third grade, we focus on coding. And we do all different types of coding. So we start off with code.org. We have some Osmos, and we do the Osmo coding. We work with Scratch Junior, the Dash robots, which they love the most. Our fourth grade, we're doing MakerStation. So this is kind of a variety of stuff. Let's see. We've gotten now 3 3D printers. We're doing augmented and virtual reality, and I should have had that video of the kids experiencing virtual reality for the first time. Yeah, on the floor, crawling under stuff. It's great. We're going to doing some duct tape, origami, stick bots, Dash robots, and we've just ordered some 3D pens. So we kind of do a little bit of everything in fourth grade. Our fifth grade, of course, this is where it kind of all started with our video broadcasting. So they're in there working with our morning news show. We've expanded. The kids are getting in there and just having a great time, and they produce a show every morning. So as we're growing, we have future plans, and we started meeting this summer, springtime. I kind of sent a call out and said, okay, I want people that have some creative background, some design, if you just want to come and help. And we worked all summer kind of coming up with how it just completely redoing what would the media center look like, because we have a great space, but really it's not working for us. The shelves are kind of in the middle. We need more collaboration spaces. And so we ended up with Jennifer Lovejoy, which has a daughter here, and she is a design background, and she kind of led the way. And we're looking forward. We're starting phase 1, hopefully at Christmas, with this. So we're getting closer, and we're excited because this is really giving us lots of collaboration places. Small groups can come in, large groups. We want to be the hub of the school, a place that inspires creativity, that they come in and they're getting excited about it, but we're learning, creating, and I think this space is going to do it. We already do so much of it, but this is going to kind of take us to the next level too. So we're excited. We're excited about the program. If y'all are ever around, you're more than welcome to come in and see what we're doing, because we're always having a lot of fun. So thank you.
Thank you. And it's nothing like those robots coming up. You're walking down the hall and hello, and you're looking around and there's this little blue robot coming up to say hello, and the kid's smiling because they programmed it to come over to you with the iPad. And Jill doesn't say a lot of what she does. She made sure that every kid got to take part in all of the awesome things that she's brought to the Media Center as she turned it upside down and backwards, because there were things in there last year and not every kid tried it. So having that time during ELT where kids get to rotate in and out, they get to see it, they talk about it, they know what's coming, and they're all excited about being able to go to the Media Center. Jill's also worked with me to write a grant to add some things like the 3D printers and breakout boxes and things, so we're looking forward to more of that. And I do appreciate the hard work of all of the staff, and especially these ladies who give it all and think outside the box to make exciting and remarkable experiences for our students.
Y'all do some amazing things, as most all of your teachers here. So there's some standing back there, and they're great contributors too, all the way from pre-K up. So thank y'all. It's amazing that this school is 10 years old, and we were talking about East Jackson High School, and we were in a training last week, and I said, do you realize that we spent a good bit of money on putting cell blockers in at East High? Do y'all remember that? How times have changed in just 10 years that now we expect kids to have Wi-Fi access so that they can use their computers, but it's evolved very quickly. Just looking at that design, how much Gum Springs has evolved as well. So thank you for staying on course and innovation. So as you may remember, we had a very interesting beginning to the year. Started with a solar eclipse, and then quickly behind it followed Hurricane Irma, and Hurricane Irma landed right in the middle of our September board meeting, so we were not able to visit West Jackson Middle School. And so West Jackson Middle School highlight is asked, since you're going to be here at Gum Springs right next door to us, could we go ahead and do our highlight at their meeting? So Mr. Kopp, I'm going to ask you to come forward and share the great things that are happening in highlight version at West Jackson Middle School.
Thank you, Dr. Howard, Board. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight. Sadly, all of my highlight folks are working tonight. They've got so much things going on, so they share their condolences, but they wanted me to let you know what's going on. First and foremost, Dana Harrell, who is our chorus teacher, has established a chorus and drama program. We actually don't offer drama as a class, but she has an after-school program, and this year, with coordination with the high school's help, she is having opening night tonight at the high school for her production of Into the Woods, complete with sets and everything else. So they're very, very excited. They wanted to come and sing for you tonight, but they said you got to buy a ticket. So they'll be over there for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30. The next highlight we have is this past Monday, we were able to complete our first Cyber Academy Tools Day of the year. Many of you may remember last year we instituted a program called Cyber Academy Tools, CAT Day Mondays, in which students that qualified with a grade ratio of 85 or higher in all their classes, no attendance or discipline problems, with a recommendation of their parent and a teacher, could actually stay home and do accelerated assignments from home and not physically actually attend school. This year, we were going to have our first one. It actually occurred right after the hurricane, so we bailed on that one, but we did have our first one last week, and I'm proud to announce that we had over, I believe the final number is 372 students that qualified for it, or roughly 30% of our student population, and about 29% of them took advantage of that and actually were home and completed their assignments. This is something that is very near and dear to our heart because it allows students to accelerate at their own pace while at the same time providing some remediation for those students that do come in. One of the things that we are very, very proud of this year, we did have about 22 students that actually came in and taught a class for their peers, that they had actually mastered the content area and they were able to redeliver it to those students. The next thing that we're very, very proud of is our STEAM team. This year we did an experimental model where we have a group of 2 teachers that teach all 4 content areas. Students applied and were interviewed and were selected to join the STEAM team, and those 52 students that are in 7th grade, each 6 weeks they're responsible for presenting a large hands-on project to show what they've been studying. We had our first one about 6 weeks ago. Many of you actually were able to come to it. I know Mr. Nicholson was there. They actually had escape rooms where they used math and science to actually design those principles. And they wanted me to remind everyone that they have their next one, and this is why they're here, not here tonight, at our Innovations Academy, which is at the old West Jackson Primary School. I'm not supposed to say that. They say it's Innovation Academy. Okay. They are creating what they call their Amp Up Night. And Amp Up, they said, you should know this, it stands for Athletic Medical Physical Therapy Night. And what will happen is, as you will sign up, they've sent out an email, and we're more than welcome to share that with the board members. You actually sign up for a time where you actually have to be there. Our guests will first enjoy waiting in our waiting room where All You Can Learn magazine research paper station. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your introductory information to help you better understand their simulation programs. Next, your guests will train as athletes through a self-created athletic combine. Of course, after you do that, that second simulation will show you what happens when you sustain an injury, and you'll need physical therapy. The next simulation will be, last but not least, in case you need surgery, and the students will show you what will happen when you need a surgery on an athletic injury. Along the way, the guests will enjoy some statistical bulletin boards to show data that's been collected by the students, a robotic surgical simulation that was actually done by our robotics club with Will Dodd, and finally a canine in training therapy with dogs Tinkerbell and Daphne. So that will be Monday night at our Innovations Academy. 2 final things that we do have. Our FFA program, as many of you know, just won another national championship. That's 2 in the past 3 years. They have finished top 5 in the past 5 years, and I'm sure we'll be celebrating them very, very, very soon. And then I think our last little bit of celebration is a student we have here with us tonight, but we'll talk about him in just a few minutes. Dr. Howard Board, that is the highlights of West Jackson Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. Lots to celebrate. You've got great hair, but you got less of it today. What happened?
I wasn't going to mention my free haircut that we did have a Relay for Life contest. Yes, ma'am. Our students raised over $1,100, and I was able to shave my head for them. So.
Good stuff. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Outstanding. All right. We will have Mr. Cobb back up in just a minute. Each month, we are very honored to recognize high school students who have been selected by each of our high schools, who are recognized as Rotary Students of the Month, and they have the privilege of choosing a teacher who's been amazingly impactful for them, and that becomes then our Teacher Rotary of the Month teacher. So I believe, if I'm correct, that East Jackson High School's Katie Mueller was not able to be here, but we'll recognize her in December. Is that correct, Mr. Dixon? Okay, and so I will then at this time introduce Dr. Pete Jones, who will introduce our student from Jackson County Comprehensive High School.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce Jackson County High School's Rotary Student of the Month, Mr. Colin McManamy. Colin, if you'll come on up here, please. Colin chose as his most influential Mr. Nick Golding. So, Mr. Golding, if you'll come on up here with Colin. Yes, dodge the wires. Colin is one of the students that I greatly admire in our school because he is a man of many talents. As you will see tonight as I read off some of the things that he's done and he's participated in, it's truly amazing. He's also well liked by his peers, just an all-around great young man. And so I'm certainly honored to stand up here next to him and talk a little bit about Colin. First, he is certainly very talented in academics. He's pushed himself all 4 years in high school, taken a very strenuous load. And this year is a very rigorous course load. He's taken AP Computer Science Principles, Honors Advanced Math Decision Making, Mastery Band, AP Literature and Composition, Advanced Chorus, AP Calculus BC, AP Economics, and AP Government. So that's what, most of the time college students don't take that kind of a load. So it's pretty amazing the types of things that he's doing. As you could see from his course load, he's also involved heavily in music with band and chorus. He's a very talented musician. He's a member of the marching band. He's a member of the WGI Winds group. He's also a talented athlete. He's involved in our tennis programs and our swim team. He's a member of our jazz band, our chorus, our wind ensemble. He's a member of our international club, the National Honor Society, Beta Club, and the Spanish National Honor Society. So again, he keeps very busy, and again, he excels in many of those areas. He's won awards across all three, academic, athletic, and in his music career. A small sampling of those include the Governor's Honors Program semifinalist, Georgia Certificate of Merit Award, AP Scholar with Distinction, a swim team top scholar, All-State Honor Band, a District Honor Band, Most Outstanding Brass Award, and the Louis Herman Jazz Award. So again, he's very well decorated, but again, he's just a pleasure to be around. He's friendly to his peers. He's always smiling. He's always just a joy to be around. So I'm going to turn the mic over now to Colin so he can talk to us a little bit about why he chose Mr. Golding and talk to us about what he plans for his future.
Okay. So Mr. Golding's been my band director for 4 years now, and he's taught me through marching band, wind ensemble, jazz band, WGI Winds. And for those of you who don't know the schedule of those things, some of those months, Mr. Golding has seen more of me than my parents have. So we've definitely spent a lot of time together the past 4 years. And through that time, he's definitely made me realize the passion that I have for music and kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit to make me like who I am today. So that's why I chose him. And then I hope to go to Northwestern University, and I want to get into their dual degree program and get a degree in music performance and biomedical engineering. So, yeah. Cool. Congratulations to you.
And I just also wanted to publicly thank Colin's parents, Mr. Joe and Ms. Darrell McManamy, for raising such a fine young man and sharing him with us. So thank you so much. Congratulations, Colin.
So proud of you, and certainly very proud of the contributions that Mr. Golding makes. I think you are a repeater here, and there's a reason why folks like Mr. Golding have an impact on students. Look at the amazing impact you've had on that young man. So we look forward to hearing. You got to come back and see us, all right? Because I know you're going to do great things. So thank you very much. All right, I'd like to call Mr. Farmer forward at this time. We have a very special winner, and maybe you and Mr. Cobb could introduce our outstanding winner and tell a little bit about this presentation, please.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Yes, we are very excited, and I'm going to let Mr. Cobb announce the individual. But this is the first time that I can remember in our transportation history that our bus safety poster contest, we actually have a state winner. And it's open to elementary, middle, and it's just, when we received the news, I was just so proud to call Mr. Cobb and say, Mr. Cobb, I just want to let you know the excellent work, the artwork that this student did. And it was amazing. Unfortunately, we were not able to keep the picture that was drawn, but we do have a snapshot of it. And basically, I'll give you a quick description of it. It is an individual, being the bus driver, and is holding up a bus, and that is his hero. So when we were judging this, it came down to two, and his was one of them. And I'm going to tell you, it was some stiff competition this year. But he did a fantastic job. I got to meet him just a few minutes ago, and I'm going to let Mr. Cobb brag on him, and then we'll present it.
So this young man is a sixth grader. He is a straight A student. He is a model student. He comes across as very, very quiet, but he's very introspective. He currently takes art with Miss Kaler and has done just a phenomenal job. All his teachers rave about him. And what the thing that is most admirable about Bryce is that everything that he sees as a way for him to get better. If he gets a 95 on his test, his teachers say, he comes up to me and says, how can I get a 99? How can I get 100? And I think that really bleeds back into the what his parents have instilled in him, both Lachey and Lee, and got a little sister, Sarah, but she's not here, but I told you I was going to mention her. They really have created a fine young man. So I'd like to introduce y'all to West Jackson Middle School sixth grader, Bryce Bratton.
On behalf of the Transportation Department, we want to present you with a certificate. And also that I didn't mention, from the state level, he will be receiving $100. So you don't have to share that with mom and dad, though, okay? So just know that. But we are extremely proud of him. And once again, I want to say thank you and congratulations. And hopefully we'll go win national too. So we're very excited. Congratulations.
That's exciting. All right. Dr. Blankenship continues with our Excellence in Service Awards. Again, as she's coming up, I'm sure she'll tell you this, but anyone can nominate anyone in our community who they've recognized as a contributor and having excellence in service to our Jackson County School students and stakeholders. So, Dr. Blankenship, I think we have two winners.
We do, and I believe you still have the certificates, so when they come up, I'm going to have them shake your hands, and you can give them the certificate. How does that sound?
Sounds fantastic.
All right. So our first recipient is actually from September, and Irma just did a job on everything, so even Excellence in Service Awards. But our September recipient is Mr. Carl Odom, whom you heard about earlier with the Butterfly Garden, and he was nominated by Gum Springs Elementary School staff members, so it's very appropriate that we are recognizing him this month. So is Mr. Carl here? There he is. Mr. Carl, if you'll come on up. I'm going to read a little bit about you while you're coming up, and if you'll just, I know the board members would like to shake your hand. But the nominees, and this is he was nominated by multiple staff members, so this is a compilation of those nominations. We would like to nominate Mr. Carl Odom for the GSES Excellence in Service Award. He is a great asset to the Jackson County school system and especially valuable to the faculty and staff of Gum Springs Elementary School. He takes pride in maintaining our school both inside and outside. After our playground was relocated, he regularly maintained the landscaping around the area and between the fences. On a personal note, Mr. Carl made sure that one staff member had a cool working environment while setting up her classroom for the year. She noticed that the air did not work in her classroom and would quickly become unbearably hot working conditions. As soon as Mr. Carl found out, he was able to provide a temporary fix until the part came in and the maintenance department could do the repair. I'm sure that any teacher who has set up a classroom at the end of July and beginning of August with no air conditioning can appreciate how grateful this teacher was to have Mr. Carl looking out for her. Mr. Carl goes above and beyond daily to attend to all maintenance issues in our building. He has even been able to keep our 10-year-old laminator running with his ability to tinker with the gears. Mr. Carl always responds with a yes I can attitude and a smile. He works extremely hard to make sure that our school, WJMS, and now WJES working properly. Anytime there is a problem, he gets to it as quickly as possible and does it with a smile on his face. He always speaks to the kids and they absolutely love him. These are just a few examples of Mr. Carl's commitment and dedication to our school and community and why we believe he deserves to receive the GSES Excellence in Service Award. So let's give him one more round of applause. Our next recipient is Miss Autumn King, and she was nominated by Sarah Garrity, a parent. Is Miss King here? All right. So I'm going to read a little bit about Miss King and her nomination. If you'll shake hands with the board members, and they'll give you your certificate. This is our first year in Georgia. My husband took a job in Duluth, and we were settled in Brazelton. The move was hard on myself and my 4 children. We expected our 3 older sons to take it harder, so we were very shocked when our youngest son, Cody, started developing signs of anxiety and separation anxiety. Cody is a very lively child. To him, life is a party. He is generally always smiling or dancing. He's a natural leader. When Cody first started at West Jackson Elementary School, he did not do so well. He was scared to be apart from us. We had a hard time dealing with things because it was so out of character. I cried about as much as he did. That's where Ms. King stepped in. She went far beyond her role as a teacher. She showed him school was still fun, even in a different state. She showed him that he was still safe, even when he was away from us. She showed him how smart he was. He received 4 awards at the end of the year, including the Citizenship Award. She showed him love. To me, that is the most important role. A teacher should not only teach, they should be a comforter, a nurturing source. She did all of those things. She got my son laughing and dancing again. She calmed his fears and mine. I can never repay her for her kindness. You have a gem in this teacher in Jackson County School District. Hold tight to this one. Miss Autumn King. And I would love to reiterate that anyone school-related or community-related can nominate a staff member or a community volunteer for recognition for our Excellence in Service Award program.
I just want to say congratulations to Carl and Autumn on behalf of all of us. Carl's worked here for a very, very long time and very vested, and then sweet Autumn is a graduate of Jackson County High School, came right through West Middle and on up, and now she's giving back to her community, and what a gift she has brought. So thank you very much. As I've mentioned to you, Mr. Patton is not here, and our dentist Patrick has retired, so Dr. Blankenship has stepped up and going to offer our Clean School Award. And we have changed this a little bit. We're doing these quarterly now, and we just have one category, and it's based on a calculation of total points that you've earned by school. So Dr. Blankenship?
When everyone reaches the level of excellence that you expect, then you have to up the level of excellence that you expect. And so we only have one overall winner, and as Dr. Howard said, these will be presented quarterly. So I'm very proud to announce that although all schools had very high scores, our quarterly winner this time is West Jackson Elementary School with a score of 292.68. I believe that Ms. Bridgman wanted to take a quick picture.
Miss Dorothy doesn't mess around.
No, she doesn't.
Or anybody else there, right?
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a new honor for me, but this is exciting, and we absolutely do have an amazing team. So I guess I should have just expected that this would keep on rolling.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Well
You're very
deserved.
honored.
Congratulations. Tremendous All right, congratulations. We have just one more award, and that one is for Mr. Farmer. Again, we've gone to quarterly awards for clean schools and transportation, and so I'll turn it over to Mr. Farmer for our transportation recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Once again, it's always a privilege to recognize an outstanding individual in our department. And we have so many that sometimes it's hard to make just one choice. This individual, Miss Melissa Marks, started with us in April, and she has been an outstanding driver, an example of what we would love for people to take and to model. I have to kind of, not embarrass her, but kind of tell her a little bit. She, when she first came, she's like, I'll be willing to do anything that we need you to do. I said, absolutely, that'll be great. So because of that, she now has the elementary route and then turns around and picks up a middle school route. So sometimes you have to be careful what you ask for. But she has done an excellent job, and we really appreciate all her hard work, her dedication, but most of all, her love for the kids. She also has a song that when the kids begin to show inappropriate behaviors or get a little excited and make the bus kind of noisy, she's got a song that she sings with them. And it is interesting. If you hear the video, it's just outstanding, the responsiveness of her children. And she doesn't sound too bad either, so that always helps. But Ms. Marks, thank you. Yes. We appreciate you, as we do all our bus drivers. And on behalf of the Transportation Department, we just want to give you a little token of our appreciation.
Well, thank you.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hang on a second. Ms. Barr. We're here at the board meeting. David went over quite a few things as far as what we're trying to do with transportation. It has been a challenge this year, and we have some very dedicated teachers in our school system. We've got some very dedicated employees in all of our positions. And David, you are a very dedicated person. I see the stress level on your face. We all do, and we appreciate what you're doing, but you're not here alone. We don't want you to be on an island to feel like that you're out there and the sharks are surrounding you. We understand that that you're shorthanded, and you're meeting a very huge challenge with what's taking place right now. Taking care of the most precious cargo that we all agree that is in our capability. We promise as a board we're going to do something. We're going to help you. Whatever we can do, whatever incentive that we've got to do, we have to do it to get you the staff that you need. You may be at 75 or 85. We feel you need to be at 100 or 110 in order to take care of what you need to do. You cannot paint a wall when you've got 2 broke arms. And right now you've got 2 broke arms and 2 broke legs. And we understand that, and we're going to help you. So we appreciate what you're doing. We understand the situation you're in. We may ask some tough questions, but you're asking the same tough questions of yourself, and we appreciate that 100%. And we're behind you, and we're going to help you.
Brian, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That means a lot, not only to me, but to my staff and also to my drivers, to know that you understand the situation and that you're willing to support that and be a part of the solution. And on behalf of the Transportation Department, we appreciate that, and thank you.
You sure will. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Only thing you didn't do, David, is get Miss Marks to sing.
I
Thought that was coming. No, I wouldn't dare do.
Echoed song, so you would have to sing after.
Oh, well, then we should wait.
We can't do that.
We should wait. Very good, very good. All right.
Anything else?
Honor Board Chair, thank you very much. Appreciate great presentations from our schools, and do appreciate the hosting that the Gum Springs offered, and that is all we have to conclude.
All right. Well, we've gone over the items on the agenda, using the consent agenda. Do I have a motion that we accept these items as written?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Mr. Bryant, if you don't mind, I would like to take an opportunity that to recognize an individual who's on the agenda. She was not here earlier, but Mr. Nicholson, would you introduce the literacy specialist
Sure.
who will be joining us, if you don't mind?
Not a problem.
Absolutely. I'm very proud and pleased to introduce you to Amy Godfrey. Yeah, have a stand up. She's coming to us from, I guess we should stand up here because nobody can see us over there. So. Amy Godfrey is coming to us from Gwinnett County. We searched high and low for the impossible. We thought certainly there's got to be somebody out there that has elementary, middle, and high school experience in literacy, because we wanted the absolute best. And quite honestly, we figured we wouldn't find somebody that had elementary, middle, and high school. But Miss Godfrey has that experience in a whole range. She's worked in staff development. She's been a literacy coach. It's almost like when you call her references, you're like, there must be something going on here, because everybody that spoke, this is the testament. The people that I didn't get to speak to actually called me back until they were able to tell me how phenomenal she was, and that we better treat her well because we're getting a true treasure. So definitely, we're very excited about Miss Godfrey joining us, and she starts officially, I believe, on December 11th. Gwinnett County Schools was very nice to let her out of her contract mid-year, but she had a lot of responsibilities that she had to conclude over the course of the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if you just want to wave and say hello, or if you want to say something.
Well, I just want to say I'm really excited to get started, and I'm really looking forward to joining the Jackson County School family. So thank you very much.
I attended a dinner a couple weeks ago, and to kind of reiterate what Mr. Nicholson just said, there were a couple people on the Gwinnett County government board that I had no clue who they were, but they found out who I was, saying that I was a member of the Jackson County Board of Education, and the one comment that came back, in which to hear that from Gwinnett County was very, very applauding, and very, I wanted to reach around and pat us on the back. But he said, Jackson County, you guys are doing some really good stuff up there. We hear what you're doing, and we're really, really envious of what's going on. And that's from Gwinnett County. So we've come a long way. We really have.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to discuss before
No,
adjourning?
sir. And I thank the board for allowing us to. I just realized she's here and we've just approved her. It'd be great for folks to be able to put a face. So thank you for allowing us to introduce her. That's all.
Well, thank you for everyone for doing a dual meeting tonight. I appreciate that. Do I have a motion that we adjourn for the evening?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming.